Jarno Trulli is a former Formula One racing driver from Italy. He was a regular in Formula One from 1997 to 2011, driving for Minardi, Prost, Jordan, Renault, Toyota and Lotus Racing. He won the 2004 Monaco Grand Prix for Renault, his only Grand Prix victory. Career: early days, his parents were motorsport fans and named their son after Jarno Saarinen, the Finnish Grand Prix motorcycle racing champion who was killed at Monza in 1973. He started racing in karts at an early age. Formula 3, Minardi and Prost. After winning the Karting World Championship in 1991, the Italian and several karting championships in different categories up to 1995, he won the German Formula 3 Championship in 1996, and in 1997 made his debut in F1 with Minardi. After 7 races he replaced the injured Olivier Panis at Prost and impressed immediately, finishing 4th in Germany and even leading in Austria, looking set to finish second until his engine blew. He stayed at the Prost team for the next 2 seasons and eventually scored his first podium in wet conditions at the 1999 European Grand Prix. However, this was a rare highlight in a race few of the main front-runners finished, and the poor performance of the Prost team convinced him that a switch to Jordan would bring improved results. Jordan. In 2000 he moved to the Irish squad, but the team was no longer the force it had been in the late 1990s. In his 2 years with Jordan, Trulli failed to score a podium, but did impress with a series of brilliant qualifying displays. During this period suggestions were made that Trulli was more of a qualifying specialist than an out-and-out fast race driver, a charge he frequently denied. Under long-term contract to personal manager Flavio Briatore, Trulli secured a contract with the Anglo-French squad for 2002. Renault. Alongside Jenson Button, he often out-qualified his British teammate, but was generally shaded in races. Regardless of Button's improved pace that season, it was Trulli who stayed at Renault for 2003 to partner promoted test driver Fernando Alonso. The 2003 Renault was a strong car and in Alonso's hands won in Hungary. Trulli struggled to retain similar results, but did achieve a podium in Germany, his first since leaving Prost. Mindful of how much Alonso had outperformed him in 2003, Trulli improved markedly the next year. For the first half of the season he was the better of the 2 Renault drivers, racking up regular points and podiums. At Monaco he finally took his first victory after a brilliant display from pole position. Having performed so well, the Italian was eager to stick with the team for 2005, but his relationship with team boss Briatore soured. A last corner error which allowed Ferrari's Rubens Barrichello onto the podium in France enraged the team, and from that point his days with the French manufacturer were numbered. For the second half of 2004, Trulli failed to gain any points and was consistently off the pace during races. He later accused the team of favoring Alonso, but the reasons why his 2004 season deteriorated have never been properly identified. He was sacked 3 races before the end of the season and replaced by 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve. Trulli had already agreed to drive for Toyota in 2005, and his early exit from Renault allowed him to take up his new seat for the last 2 races of the 2004 season, replacing Riccardo Zonta. Toyota. 2004 Euro 2005. In 2005, early season podiums demonstrated Trulli's speed and at Indianapolis he took Toyota's first F1 pole. For the vast majority of the year he outpaced highly paid teammate Ralf Schumacher, but a late season dip in form saw him slip to 7th in the championship, 2 points behind the German. 2006. In 2006, Trulli suffered a very poor start to the season. On the first lap of the 2006 Australian Grand Prix, he was taken out by David Coulthard. He seemed to be outpaced by teammate Ralf Schumacher more often than not, but his reputation was restored when he raced to 6th from 4th on the grid at the Canadian Grand Prix. Following this was a 4th place in the United States Grand Prix. From then on, he would only score 3 more times, with a couple of 7th place finishes in the German Grand Prix and the Italian Grand Prix and also a 6th place in the Japanese Grand Prix. There was even bad luck here, as his car became troublesome to drive mid-race, and Ralf Schumacher was delayed in the process. Trulli was racing very well in the season finale at Interlagos, but bad luck robbed him again, as his car suffered suspension failure in only the first 10 laps, a fate which befell his teammate at the same time. He finished 12th overall. 2007. Trulli scored his first points of 2007 in Malaysia, finishing in 7th place after qualifying 8th. A couple more points followed in Bahrain, but he stalled on the grid at the start of the Spanish Grand Prix and dropped out during the early laps due to mechanical failure. Monaco brought no better fortune for Trulli, as he finished down in 15th place, just ahead of teammate Schumacher, after qualifying his season-worst 14th. Points were collected by Trulli at the Indianapolis for 6th place. After a series of non-scoring runs, Trulli said that the result was incredible. He also qualified well for the French Grand Prix but crashed with a Renault of Heikki Kovalainen on the opening lap, and duly retired because of the damage. Trulli accepted the blame for the incident. The second half of the season was disappointing, with Trulli's only point coming in the final race of the season at Brazil. Post-season there had been reports that Trulli's contract was not safe, and that he may have been replaced in the Toyota team for 2008 by Heikki Kovalainen. These proved unfounded, as Kovalainen signed for McLaren, 2008. In 2008, Trulli was hoping Toyota would make a big step forward. Timo Glock was confirmed as his teammate for the season. Trulli started the season quite well, with several point-scoring finishes, the height of which was a 4th-place finish in Malaysia. Trulli's qualifying performances were also very good throughout the first few rounds of the championship. His form then slumped a little, with disappointing performances in Turkey and Monaco, as he finished in non-point scoring positions. However, he bounced back from this with a 6th-place finish in Montreal. He then topped that in France by finishing on the podium in 3rd place, holding off the challenge of Heikki Kovalainen and Robert Kubica in the closing laps. He qualified on the front row alongside pole seeker Felipe Massa for the season-ending Brazilian GP, which was to decide the 2008 World Championship between Massa and Lewis Hamilton. During the race, Trulli had several close shaves in the changeable weather conditions, and eventually finished 8th. His teammate Glock played a pivotal part in the title outcome, as he was passed by Hamilton on the last corner of the race, which gave the Englishman the championship by 1 point from Massa, who won easily. 2009. Trulli was confident going into 2009. In the first race of the 2009 season, the Toyotas of Trulli and Glock started the race from the pit lane, as their qualifying times were disallowed due to Toyota's flexible rear wing breaching regulations. Although Trulli started from the pit lane, he finished in an impressive 3rd place before being penalized 25 seconds, dropping him to 12th position for passing Lewis Hamilton under the safety car. A few days after this decision, Hamilton was disqualified from the race results for misleading the race stewards by insisting that Jarno Trulli had passed him under the safety car, although Hamilton in fact let him pass on purpose due to an order given by the team from the pit lane. Jarno Trulli therefore regained his 3rd place finish. At the Bahrain Grand Prix, Trulli qualified on pole position, but due to an unconventional tyre strategy, he finished 3rd. However, he did record the fastest lap, the only time he has achieved this in his career. He holds the record of having started the most Grands Prix before recording a fastest lap. He crashed out of the Spanish Grand Prix after being forced off the track at the 2nd corner and being collected by Adrian Sutil, and then had a poor performance in Monaco as the Toyotas qualified on the back row of the grid. Improvement saw him score points in 3 of the next 4 races, before the following 4 rounds saw him struggle again as he failed to finish in the top 10. At the Singapore Grand Prix he placed 12th while teammate Glock was 2nd. Trulli then fought back at the Japanese Grand Prix by qualifying and finishing 2nd. He then qualified 4th in torrential conditions in Brazil, but like in Spain collided with Adrian Sutil on the opening lap of the race, an incident which enraged Trulli as he blamed Sutil for the crash. His obvious display of anger towards Sutil afterwards earned him a $10,000 fine. Trulli finished 7th at the season finale in Abu Dhabi, scoring his final points in Toyota F1's last race. Lotus, 2010. On December 14, 2009, Trulli was confirmed as one of the newly formed Lotus team's drivers, joining former McLaren driver Heikki Kovalainen. He only finished one of the opening 4 races, a weaker reliability record than Kovalainen, leading him to note that everything happens on my car and my car only. So to this day, my expectations have not been met. At the launch of the Lotus T127, Trulli admitted in an interview with Autosport that USF1 and Sauber had been in contact with him. In late 2009, Trulli was asked to test a NASCAR stock car in North America for Toyota. The car was set up by Michael Ultrep Racing. 2011. Trulli continued to drive for Lotus in 2011, with Lotus Racing being renamed Team Lotus. He again partnered Heikki Kovalainen. Trulli's season started with 13th in Australia, before a retirement with a clutch problem in Malaysia. Trulli finished each of the next 6 races, equaling his best season finish of 13th in Monaco. In Britain, he retired with an oil leak. For the German Grand Prix, Trulli was replaced by reserve driver Karun Chandhok. When he returned in Hungary, he retired due to a water leak. He finished 14th at both the Belgian Grand Prix and the Italian Grand Prix, where it was announced that Trulli would be retained for the 2012 season. After retiring in Singapore with a gearbox failure, Trulli finished 19th in Japan, 17th in Korea and 19th again, in India. Caterham. Team Lotus was renamed to Caterham F1 ahead of the 2012 season. Trulli drove in one pre-season test, but on February 17, 2012 it was announced that Trulli was replaced by Vitaly Petrov. This left Formula One without an Italian driver at the start of the 2012 season, for the first time since 1969. FIA Formula E Championship. On June 18, 2014 it was announced that Trulli was driving the inaugural FIA Formula E Championship, driving for a team bearing his own name in partnership with Draisen Racing Technologies and Supernova Racing. Racing record, career summary, complete Formula One results, key, €0.5 points awarded as less than 75% of race distance was completed. A Euro driver did not finish the Grand Prix, but was classified as they had completed over 90% of the race distance. Complete Formula E results, key, season in progress. Pre-F1 career, 1996, champion in German Formula 3, 1995, fourth in German Formula 3, first in Italian karting Class 100 FA, first in World Karting Class 125 FC, Senem Memorial World Cup winner, 1994, Senem Memorial World Cup winner, first in North American Class 100 SA, first in European Class 100 SA, 1993, second in World Karting Champion Class 100 SA, first in Grand Prix of Japan Class 100 FSA, 1992, second in World Karting Class 125 FC. 1991, champion in Karting World Championship 100 FK, 1990, first in Grand Prix of Hong Kong Class 100 FA, 1988 to Euro 1990, 3 times champion in Italian National 100 class, 1983 a Euro 1995, karting, helmet. Trulli's original helmet design was white with a blue shape around the visor with a blue circle in the top and a green J with a red T in the sides. A ring around the blue circle was incorporated when he raced at Jordan and Renault, being colored after the team's main sponsor. In 2004 his helmet changed from white to chrome silver and the shape, the J and the T became chromed with black outline. Later, in his first Toyota years the top became red and was added a white ring around the red circle. Finally in 2008 the helmet turned red with the J and the T of the original colors plus a white line on the chin area. From his Lotus years, the helmet design remained intact, with the change of the shades of color from chrome to normal shades. Personal life, Trulli is married to Barbara and they have 2 sons, Enzo, named after Trulli's father, and Marco. He is the co-owner of a vineyard in the Abruzzo region in Italy and produces his own wine. He also has his own range of karts named Trulli Kart. Trulli himself was a world champion at karting level. References. External links, official website, profile at Toyota F1 official website, Jarno Trulli profile and statistics, Jarno Trulli revealed on CNN.com.